Howdy folks, this morning's shaving cream is going to be from Ingram. This is a, I guess you might say a cooling type shave. It's got menthol in this particular shaving cream. Got the alum block without the rubber band. Alum block was getting a little too small for the rubber band. Unscented witch hazel, but it's mentholated. And the aftershave, Osage Rub. Yeah, this is I have a link down below from to the Atlanta Barber and Beauty Supply, and yeah, 14 ounces for about $4.50. Darn good buy. This is from the Shaven Sailor. Try to say that 3 times real fast. This is the beard oil I've been using here lately, and this beard oil works well with my color of beard, and that the beard oil doesn't make my beard turn yellow. Good stuff here. I'll make sure I'll put a link down below for this shaver of the day. I've used this before, and it's for me this is like a pretty cool shaver. I just really it gives me great shaves. I'm still using the yeah, there it is. It's got 2 dots right there on this plate here. I got a super feather super blade in it, and it recommends either using the 2 dot or the 1 dot plate for that particular blade, because it's probably the most aggressive that feather has, and it comes in a box like this. At least that's how mine came. But this these blades seem to work pretty well with me. Last time I shaved with the Occam's razor, I also shaved with it with a Captain's paint. Let me show you. Kai. I have a storage container here. I'm getting ready to show you. And I got this container at Walmart. It's about $1. And typically what you know, for school supplies, they'll put like Crayolas in it or something like that. That's the Razor Rock Blackhawk there, and there's your Kai Pinks, and then I have yet to try the Schick blades there. But just to give you an example how handy it is to have these, I usually got my single edge and some of my double edge shavers in containers like this. They're stackable. Put them underneath the sink, however high, and usually you can get, depending on the size of your DE, you can get 2 of them in there. So in other words, kind of help with the storage of your shavers. But anyhow, this is what the box looks like that it comes in, and it just slides open, and there is some information there in the way of paperwork, if you will. Tells you there about the dot system to help you out with what to expect with the plates, and this is where I was talking about what's recommended, what blade to use with what plate. And I have one of these days I'm going to use the 1 dot, but I get good shaves with the 2 dot, and that's the only one I've ever worked with. Get another one of these cards in there. At any rate, to me, this shaver is going to stay with me for a very long time. Here's the a more comprehensive, more detail about the different blades that will work with this. By the way, that's made by Feather. It comes, there it is, in a plastic bag. There's a couple extra screws. So in other words, yeah, you definitely want, I would work with something, if you're like at a table or a desk, I would put a very thick towel, so if the screw falls out, it'll stick right in there. If you're at the sink, definitely have that stop print. These screws are tiny. It goes down that sink, and it's going to be a sad day. You see where the other 2 plates at, and this gizmo here is to help extract the blade. I haven't had any issues. I've never used it, in other words. I don't have any issues getting the blade in or out without it. There is a little bit of a trick or a quirk about putting the blade in, and it's not that tough once you take a moment and take a good look at your shaver. what it is that you're putting it on here on the back side. There's going to be some guides here on the side that you want to make sure that you're putting it down in there. You're not bumping your blade up against those guides. And then there's going to be two bumps, or notches if you will, post coming down. You want to take your blade and bend it down, bow it down just a little bit to get underneath that, and then it snaps right in place. The Kai blade, the one I was using, not all blades are made equal. And on the cards, you know, if you pay attention to it, even the thickness on the feather blades will be different. So the thinner the blade, it's going to fit looser in your shaver. The Kai blade I use, you could shake it and it would rattle. It didn't have any ill effect on the shave. Shaved just fine. Matter of fact, it was a great shave. This blade here, being a super, is thicker, and it doesn't rattle. At least not in my shaver. It doesn't. It doesn't rattle at all. And but if you're interested in getting one of these, I got a link down below. When I got mine, it was on sale, the cheapest I've ever seen it, which was at $60. And I think now the going price is like $85. But at $60, I've been following this shaver for a good long while, back when they first started mentioning it. And matter of fact, with the handles, with look like a fork, got two bars coming out, and so on and so forth. I was besides the price at the time, I was very apprehensive about this bar. Didn't think it would be comfortable. Just didn't look like a bar that I would want on a shaver. But at $60, I decided to go ahead and give it a try, and I was really surprised that the bar is not near the factor I thought it was going to be. I've already got the lather whipped up over here in the bowl, using a horsehair brush. I don't know if it's Vie Long, however you pronounce it. I've had this brush for a little while, but do like the horsehair brushes. It's been a while. I've got a few of these. Matter of fact, I think outside of synthetic, anything in the way of natural bristle, I think horsehair is what I got the most of, which I really do. My alarm's going off. I really do like horsehair. It works well for me. It is one of those that depending. I've got some where it doesn't have much of an odor to it. Then I've got some that's definitely got an odor to it. And how you break your brush in, especially if it's going to be a bore. I soak mine, not the entire brush, but you know, the bristles. I soak mine overnight. And if I got any kind of funk with a brush, I've done two different things. I've used a Dawn dishwashing liquid, which seems to do a real good job with taking care of that smell. And then the Preshave soap here with the Cube. Williams mug soap, or Arco. I've done both of them. Will do wonders also. At least it has for me, for help removing some of that odor. But that it would be the, how you can say, the beauty of going with the synthetic. You don't have that issue. I don't lose very many bristles with my horsehair brushes anymore. When I first got them, I did lose a few. Nothing, I guess you might say, alarming. Now my inexpensive, I got 3 inexpensive horsehair brushes. Bought them on eBay for under $7 shipped, if I remember right. They were pretty inexpensive. Cool looking handles though. And those they're still losing bristles from time to time, but kind of expected that I would run into that kind of issue. You can kind of tell that this knot is just loaded with shaving cream. Jimmy was talking about his shaving brush, about it hanging on to lather, and I had mentioned that I thought maybe it might be more along the lines that it hadn't been broke in yet. Because Mark from Friendship Shaving had a smoke brush with a bore knot. Wasn't wanting to give up the lather. Lather hog. Just hangs on to it. And I have noticed it with the Preshave brush when I first got it. There for a while it didn't want to release the soap, and it took a while. It's a good brush to get started on. It is probably the most scritchiest, pokey brush that I've got. Not anymore since it's been broke in, but when I first started, it was very good with Williams because it didn't have a problem digging into it. For me, finding the angle with this shaver is pretty easy. And since it is relatively easy to remove the blade, this blade I'll put in the Feather Artist Club. I'm going to be shaving with next week, starting on Monday. The first time I shaved with this, if you've seen the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I came out of the bathroom and I was just smiling, and my wife said, "You shaved with that razor, didn't you?" With this blade, and this blade, I get very efficient shaves. My face is very smooth. 3-pass shave, don't even work at it. I'm done. Face is smooth. For me, it was money well spent. Waited long enough and didn't wait too long. Sometimes I wait too long on something, then it's no longer in supply. Speaking of that sort of thing, Fatip, I think is how you pronounce it. Trevor would know what I'm talking about, how to pronounce that. I don't know if it's Piccolo or Piccolo. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's the one with the solid handle. Anyhow, they have a special edition. And as a matter of fact, there's two of them I've seen. One of them's got a black handle referred to as a black tie. And this one here has two different base plates, and they're different colors, and the way of the cap and the base plate will be different colors. That contrast looks really cool. Like a black cap and then the gold base plate. And the only place I've been able to find it, and Flash will know if I'm pronouncing this website right, is Cognate. Not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, they're of course out of stock, but that's the only place I've been able to find it. And I've been, in other words, when it comes to hardware, I don't have very much left on my list I plan on getting this year. Been on the fence about the Starling with the new base plates. If he comes out with some more here pretty soon, well, not even only pretty soon, but when he does come out with them, I might go ahead and get those base plates. I'm not sure. Still riding on the fence on that one. Excuse me. But that Fatip, that special edition one with the two different base plates. I don't have that solid handle. Anxious to see how it shaves. And not only that, all of the Fatips that I've got are open comb. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have any, and one of those plates is not an open comb. It's got a safety bar. I'm anxious to try that, see how it shaves. It's just a really nice looking shaver. It's like the R41 with the rose gold handle. It's just, wow, that just like screams by me. This is a good shaver. Really happy. This falls right in the lines of the new innovation, I guess you might say. Supplies an injector with adjustable, interchangeable base plates. Rockwell 6C, whether you go with stainless steel or not. A really nice shaver. It is good to see people come out with new shavers. And I understand Not all new shavers will be for everybody. Just like this one here, it may not be for you, but boy howdy, I sure do enjoy it. Great shaver. I love the shaves I get with this. It's the reason why it's not ever leaving. I know some people, feather plates are not their favorite, but I've got my Camisori style feather shaver. It's my favorite shavette. I like the Camisori style. It's easy for me to maneuver around my face. Man, menthol, definitely coming out. It's not real heavy, it's not like Cryogen or anything quite like that. It's present. TFS Soto Zero, a lot like that. The menthol's present. It's enough to let you know that it's there, but it's not overpowering. It's not gonna make your eyes water up or anything quite like that. You can kind of tell, hopefully you can tell right there. It's the angle is set for you. You can adjust if you want to, but if you're keeping that flat on your face, in other words, the angle's pretty well set for you. Yes, great shave. As much as hard as it would be to narrow down favorite shavers, I'd have to break them down in categories. In between single edge, DE, and shavettes. Don't have enough in the way of straight razors. I don't. If I had a 7/8 and I need to get my red imp, sometimes it's referred to as a mini wedge, get it honed. Something tells me that that one there, in the way of straight razors, might make it to the top, because it just seems like when I hold it in my hand that it's that wedge, especially that size. Typically I go with something bigger or heavier, and this one here is smaller. It's not a real big wedge. Not a 7/8, and I like to try a 7/8 one day, get a hold of one, see how it shaves. I do lean more towards what's a heavier weighted shaver. Definitely a firm believer in letting the weight of the razor and the sharpness of the blade do the work. Works well for my beard. If you got a light growth, I can definitely understand the lighter weight shavers. The 3D printed ones that I used here recently, really nice. I mean, it's a challenge for me, and that's the reason why I like to, the challenge of the shave. If people are getting good shaves with it, I should be able to get good shaves with it. I just need to figure out how to use it. What blade works best for me with that shaver. I've got to change how I prep my shave, whether it's a particular kind of pre-shave, which kind of goes back. I've watched a few videos, and for me, I'm still kind of scratching my head because I don't know. Maybe it's just not a doable thing. I've got some shaving sticks, and I still have a Palmolive shaving stick that I didn't grind up and put it in an Old Spice mug. And in other words, it's been a good long while since I tried to do a face lather. I mean, it's been a long time, and I'm kind of anxious to give it another go with the shaving sticks. But I've been using a pre-shave, keeping along with that same routine. I don't know if I can use the pre-shave shave stick. In other words, wet the face, take the shave stick, and apply the soap to the face that way, and then a wet brush, then work up the lather. I don't know I don't know if the pre-shave and the shave stick is going to be compatible, if you will. Because you can kind of see when I put the pre-shave soap on there, I've already got quite a bit already on there. Then trying to put soap on there on top of that pre-shave, I don't know, I'd have to try it, but just in my mind, I just don't see it working very well. I need to look a little bit more, folks that have used a shave stick, to see if they used any kind of pre-shave soap. Some witch hazel here. I guess I was leaning more towards I may end up not using a pre-shave unless I can figure it out. Might just give it a go one time and see how it works for me. If it don't work out very well, then I know next shave not to use the pre-shave. Who knows, it might work out quite well. I have a few 3 or 4 shave sticks. I don't have an Arco. I have the Arco puck, but I don't have an Arco shave stick. Need to run one of those down one day. I got the puck. That's the reason why I don't think I ever felt compelled to get the stick, because I got the puck and I like Arco. I know a lot of people not too keen on the scent of Arco, but I like it. It's about like Williams mug soap. I like the scent of it also. To me, the Arco is a very clean scent, and it's there. I have no problem smelling Arco. In other words, that scent strength it's there. It's strong, the way I like them. No me trying to, I don't smell anything. I don't smell anything. You don't have that problem with Arco. As soon as you pop the top on that puck, it comes in a red container with a screw top lid. As soon as you open it up, there it is. It's letting you know it's present. Single edge shave. So, last year was the first year I did this, and I'm going to continue on with it this year. You'll see some groups in the month of September, SE, single edge, and I'm going to do that in the month of September, and then in December I'm going to go ahead and do the DEs. And for me, it's lining up my razors, because in some cases I don't have enough room in a month to fit in my single edge shavers or my DEs. Because for instance, if you own, let's say, one of all of Gillette's double edge shavers, that's a lot. And there's more than just Gillette that made double edge shavers, especially on the margarine side of things. When you put all that together, there's just not enough days in the month to get all the shaves in. So I'm going to have to try to narrow things down. Face feels really good, nice and cool. It's still cooling. I'm telling you, this is a good buy. $4.50. That's the reason why I got this to begin with. Besides, I saw Anthony Esposito use it one day back when I very first started. I thought, I gotta get me some of that. It's an inexpensive aftershave. Had a great shave. This is for me, this is a really nice shaver. I don't think I showed the underside of it. There's the 2 screws right there. You'll take a small Phillips screwdriver, just a small one. If you can find one that's got a magnetic end, you might you might appreciate that screwdriver a bit more, trying to get those screws out. I had a great shave. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.